everybody. I'm Chris.
You're not Gavin. I'm Pocky.
And this is
Combat Creations. Was I supposed to do that? Okay.
That's right. Pocky is here today with us. So for those worried about Jeff and his mutant abilities, turns out that there was an issue with Spider Silk spitting out of places. Joe's helping him unravel that.
There will be YouTube footage.
There will not be YouTube footage. YouTube won't let us have footage like that.
We called demonetization.
Here's a quick recap of where we are. Building a frame, made some hingy things. Last time we tried to connect legs together and found out there was way too much motion going on. And we also had some problems with the hinges here. The PVC cap wasn't quite staying nice and neat. So the PVC under here, it was given a whole lot of wobble and stuff. So we made a couple of adjustments, and what we did was, first I took all of these apart, then added a second screw up the PVC into to keep it still, and then I also, well, it's hard to see because it's clear, added some JB Weld on the connecting piece on all of these. So between those two things, they should be nice and stiff and still in place. Now, in doing that, I want to show you something. I don't know if the camera can see this. So there are two screws here. The gold ones are what I've been using most of the time. The darker ones are what I had on hand in order to make this whole thing possible. What's hard to see on the camera is that the head on these darker ones has a little extra material here, and these don't.
Because these are more drywall screws, and these are more wood screws.
Yeah, so here's what made that difficult, or what that made difficult. Once I added the screws in, when I put these wooden dowels in, the screw heads didn't quite sit all the way up where we wanted it to, and we couldn't get the dowels in. So I had to take all of those out and re-add some of the gold ones in to make sure that everything was still secure and the dowels would go back in. Oops. Something I didn't realize until we started doing it, and I throw it out there in case anybody else is working on a project like this. So if you see that's what's going on, switch your screws and look at the screw heads and make sure you don't have that extra material there. Also, we took out the Lazy Susan hardware that we had in here that was for swiveling. It was just too much motion. Way too much motion to keep up with. We still have full motion here of these. Yay, Dancy centaur thing. So we still have the full motion that we really want, and we have. I took the hardware off and I screwed these directly into the frame, so everything's a lot tighter now. So we should be able to control our movement a little better. Next thing we changed out, we were using little hook and eye holes in there in order to keep the PVC latched in place. We're having some trouble opening them up, getting the PVC on, getting things hooked up, but we also thought that those just weren't quite gonna cut it as far as holding it. So what I found was, actually, I'll show the whole package over here. So these are hooks. They're actually safety hooks. They have an extra little piece here that's kind of hard to see on the camera, but there's an extra little stopper deal there. And so what we're going to do is we're going to use these in place, and as we put the PVC on, it means that for travel we'll be able to take the PVC off, but it'll easily go on, and this should help keep it in place and not accidentally pop off in the middle of use, we hope. So, what are we doing tonight? The same thing we do every night. Try and make this work. What we'll do is we're going to add some of these hooks into place. Again, we're going to start just like we did last time, getting the first two legs attached and making that work. Then we'll add a third leg, and then we'll start down the other side. So we do have some PVC here. We have one piece that was already flattened on the ends, but currently is too long. So we'll trim that down, and while we're doing that and reheating it and re-squashing it, we'll probably go ahead and start re-squashing the ends of a couple of other pieces so that they'll be ready. They will also need some trimming.
So we'll make a lot of noise.
That's kind of where it is, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, in order to make sure that this is right, let's go ahead and start by putting a couple of these in. And when I was marking out a little spot here, I marked it out so that the hook is just a little higher than the base here, so we still have room to get the PVC flattened in there, but so that it's still higher on the leg. Remember, in a build like this, up is that way.
Up is down, left is right.
Down, up is that way. So we have to bear that in mind. So we want the hooks to go up, so that, or we want the hook part to be open up, so that when it's in use, the PVC is more down in the hook.
Up is down, left is right. Just remember that. Because remember, you have to keep that in your mindset, because when you're designing all this stuff, and you're like, when you flip it up right, where it's theoretically supposed to be when you're all said and done, and everything falls apart, it's because down was up and up is down.
So I'm just going to kind of mark that with a little bit of a, and give it a pilot hole here.
So, Chris, where did you find these safety hooks, and what aisle area? So if someone's like, hey, I could use those hooks, where do you find them?
I found these hooks at Wally World.
No, but what aisle? Like the curtain aisle?
The hardware aisle.
Okay.
They have an aisle where they have hardware for like picture frames and stuff.
Okay, so.
Generally hanging things up. The hanging aisle.
Oh,
you know
so
what?
I'll do that. If you want me to do that?
Yeah, you do that. I'll go around you with the drill and get the next one going.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was in the hardware aisle of Wally World. On the back of the package, I also noticed that there's a ruler on the package, inches on one side and metric on the other, which is kind of neat if you're working at trying to get something just where you want it to be and you don't have a ruler on hand. It was kind of nice to find some packaging that was useful like that. Kind of cool. All right. So my pilot holes probably could have been just a little bigger.
Yeah, I got this one going now. And having a second hand, if you have a younger person doing these projects with you, this is the most ideal thing for them to do, because there's no real messing this part up, which is why Chris has me doing it. But if you have somebody who's like, hey, you have a little one who wants to help you, this is the most ideal little project for them. You might need to go a little deeper on this one. Because I am no longer getting...
Yeah, I was noticing on this one that even though this one wasn't deep enough, look.
Okay.
Yeah, it went in.
Right.
Oh, you know what? You know what? Wait, oh. Try the. Let's do this. Hold on.
No, I was just trying to see how deep it was.
Oh. Let's switch it and pop a wood screw in and right back out in order to widen the hole a little bit. So that's what these other wood screws are good for. Is there? There's
Well,
the
you work on that over there.
bit I want.
Yeah, this is not gonna.
That's all right. We'll use that. So I don't have. Actually, I might. Would you see if there's a red container of screw bits in there? Maybe I've got one that will work a little bit better if this doesn't.
Maybe.
There are only a few in there.
Yeah, I'm just kind of worried there's some I hear moving around that may not be visible.
See the hook.
Oh, they're all visible. Okay.
Yeah, there's just a few. Oh, actually, this wood screw works really nice.
You got it?
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So pilot hole, then a wood screw, and then... Because you don't want to bust wood.
It's like a 12-step program for Centaur legs. You know, it helps if I go in first and then out. Like belly buttons, innies and outies.
But you can't remake a belly button.
Centaurs are like belly buttons.
So if this is a Centaur,
yeah,
I thought...
that
There you go.
So this is... So the idea is Centaur, we're actually going Warhammer Dragon Ogre, which has 6 legs, despite newer art that only gives them 4.
So we're saying we're going old school with this stuff.
Heck yeah.
There it goes.
All right. And yeah, we're...
Well, no, do you want to see if it works first? That way...
Well...
That way we need to know...
That's crazy talk. Move it around. All right, go the side to side. Oh, it definitely went that side. Let's go the other side. This is where gravity might be a thing. Oh, I do notice that this screw is turning around too. Is that screw turning around?
Yeah, it turned a little bit. Because remember I tried to turn it, like, see how it... Yeah, it's turned... Good news, it does turn with the plastic, though. That's good, because otherwise you're going to start breaking stuff.
Well, I meant the screw is nice and tight in this one. This screw ends up being... This hook ends up being a little loose.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
See what I'm saying? Which means that after we test this, we might have to go in with just a little bit of the JB Weld in the hole and re-screw it. But for now, let's chop this thing. Ooh, a marker would be good.
Yep.
It's like I come prepared to this show. All right.
Oh, hold on. Where's it?
Now, since we're squishing it, this end looks better than this end, so I'm going to cut this end off. Yeah, that'll be loose. It's all right.
Oh no, it's trying to put it back in.
So we want it, the hole, right around here. So we'll chop it off here and re-squish.
All right, you want me to cut?
Yeah, go for it. If you cut that on that side, then I'll start heating, because the other two, we're going to have 2 ends.
Well, I'm also left-handed, so it makes it good that I'm on this side. Because I would be cutting with my main hand. You said
I'll start heating the end here.
Just to verify, sir, before I start cutting that right there, right?
Yeah.
All right.
On the line, and I'm not real worried about in the middle of the line or the back of the line or anything like that. Just chop that puppy.
I worked in construction. If I don't hit the dead center of the line, I did something wrong.
Last time we heated these up and we squished them with some pliers that we had on hand, but we don't have those pliers on hand. And we found in prepping here just before the show starting a much better way, we hope, of squashing these. I'm just heating it up till it's nice and toasty, preferably just a little floppy.
Like marshmallows.
You won't see it change much. If I was heating up mid-pipe, you'd see the whole pipe. Ooh, careful of the table moving.
Sorry.
It's all right. If I was doing it mid-pipe, you'd see the pipe on the end kind of bending and getting real floppy. On the end here, you're not going to see too much of a change. Wow. I should be a little more focused with this. That's not hot at all. La-da-da.
Da 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 da.
Come on, pipe, get hot.
So I was told this was going to be about role playing. As I do role playing stuff.
Role playing? Tell me about the role playing stuff you're doing, Pocky.
So for those who are like, wait, this is not week 4 because we have several weeks of shows. I do on week 4 we do a show called Learn to Role Play, where I talk about teaching people how to role play.
Amazing that. It's like the show tells you what's going on. All right, do you have your end of the your squashy bit ready? to stick under the end of the...
I like this part.
No. Set the pipe down, because I'm going to hand you this pipe, and you're going to squash under the... use the frame off the end, the frame of the thing itself.
Oh, this part? Or?
Yeah, on the corner in there.
Right here?
You want to move the bits. You want to move the bits, and you want to move the saw.
All right. And then
All right.
put that right over there.
This is ingenious.
So what am I doing?
So I'm going to hand you the pipe, and this end that I'm heating up, you're going to squash under the end of the frame.
Excellent.
And then hold it there while it cools.
Excellent.
Ready?
Yes.
Isn't that great? A nice, even squish.
Yep. And this will get you the exact shape we need.
Yeah, so much better than just the grips in that we were doing.
And you have a big bulky guy here that's just pushing down the table.
If you're in need of a big heavy thing to squash, you might try making a centaur and using the frame to squash stuff. You see people, I don't really need a centaur, but I do need to squash the PVC, so I better make a centaur frame to lounge around here and squash with.
A centaur can serve so many purposes.
A centaur, it's a multi-purpose. A centaur is the multi-tool of the fantasy world.
It is, actually. I mean, centaurs, even mythology, are like either the bad guys or they're the teachers. I mean, you go through all of mythology. The centaur is like in everything.
You've got people, you've got horses.
In, I think it was in African mythology, they have cat centaurs.
Yeah, I can see that now. They just lounge around and push things over.
They have nothing on coffee tables ever. They're just like, no.
The coffee table is the the opposite of a cat. It's its nemesis. Cat nemesi are coffee tables. All right, this one's getting heated. How are we doing over there?
I think we're done.
All right, pull it out and see.
Oh, it's a bit warm.
If it's not, then all we do is...
I may have accidentally switched too quickly.
That's all right. So here's the trick on this one. So number one, we want to squish a little further in.
Yeah, I didn't mean to. Probably my fault.
That's okay.
So make sure also when you're squishing that you go deep.
Here's the other thing. Number two, you see how that one's squished on one side? We want to keep it on the same plane.
So, oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
You handed it, so I just squished.
Well, this one doesn't matter because we don't have one on the other side yet.
Yeah.
So, but this one has one on one side. We want to keep the other one squished in the same plane so it hooks the same on the legs.
Yes.
You ready?
Yeah. I am now.
Like we said the last time we were doing this, the neat thing is, if something messes up, you just heat it up and squish again.
So this time I went about a little over an inch,
Perfect.
according to the 2x4. Since 2x4 literally is 2 inches by 4 inches. And
No, it's 1.5 inches by 3.5.
Well, damn, I don't know.
It's not 2x4.
Look, I just doing whatever.
The reason they call it a 2x4 and not 1.5 inches by 3.5 is that it's a lot easier to write on the tag at the hardware store. That's not really. The real reason is it's actually 2x4 inches before drying. And after drying, it's not 2x4 anymore.
Because trees are natural sponges.
Trees are sponges. You ever read that stick figure? I can't remember. There's a stick figure comic series that's really good. The dwarves are all totally against trees. Like they think the trees are after them. Order the Stick.
Order the Stick, yes.
That's it.
They also went really dark in those stories. Like they have one where like one of their stories, like the council is completely turned evil because 3 of the people are like completely mind controlled, and they're like, we say this, and everyone's like, yeah, well, just do what you say because you're in charge.
Yeah, but it's really good writing.
Oh, it is excellent writing.
Highly recommend Order of the Stick.
Order the Stick.
And also, they don't come out anymore. But The Adventures of Dr. McNinja.
Yes.
Oh man, that was some good stuff.
I'm currently reading Spinneret. That's like one of my favorites right now.
How are we looking down there?
It should be good. I want to give it.
Find out. Beautimus. You ready for this one?
Yes, and it was just warm enough for me to flatten it back out.
Cool. All right, go. All right.
So,
Let's switch around here to our. Actually, let's see what other bits we have in here.
bits of bits of bits.
Well, I want one that's big enough. I think Joe was using one from his bits last time. So I want one that's a little bigger than what we're using, but not giant. No. So this one is a size. What size are we using? 7/32.
Remember, it's always easier to go up. You can never go back down. Right?
Well, you just get more PVC.
That's true.
I probably shouldn't be going against your pushing by using this part of the
table. I'd appreciate that.
I should also go forward with it instead of backward. All right. So. Come on. Latch in there. All right. Latch on the other side. All right.
Oops. Oops.
Yeah, we're going to have to flip it over to try this. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is make a new hole for... Oh. I'm going to make a new hole for the hook itself, because I think that it was just too...
Because I was trying to work it too hard.
That probably... But it's all right. We're using wood. Wood's forgiving.
So the part where we cut it down. Never truly forgive us.
I don't like that screw anyway.
Yeah.
To heck with that screw.
You're going to stay down there, sir. Or madam.
Really, going with a pilot hole before putting the screw in is the better way to do it. And it's also slower. We only have so much time on the show. All right.
All right. Is that correct, sir?
Oh. Yeah, that's gorgeous.
I'll hold that. Goes in there. That goes in there.
Let go.
I'm just keeping it from falling over.
All right. So we are getting motion. It's time that we test. We get a bigger test. So I'm gonna move this, and we're gonna flip it over and add some gravity to the situation. Which may be really helpful, and maybe really not.
But we won't know until we try.
That's right. So.
Hold on, do you want me to go over here on this side?
Just bring it back. We'll flip it up.
Hold on, let me. I'm on the butt apparently.
Yeah. All right. So. The table's not entirely even. Here, let's pick it up and we'll scoot it back towards that edge of the table so that things are a little more even.
Sure.
Yeah, a little more. Not 100%, but we're kind of good.
There.
All right. So we've got a picky up thing. We got it out of the way. Let's move some of this stuff. All right. Test forward, backward, side. Oh, still not liking the side to side. But we have some forward, backward. We don't have it falling over to the side anymore.
Yep. I'm also trying to keep it lifted up a little bit so we're not turning into a crevice into the table.
Yeah, we won't do that. Well, all right. So ultimately, it's walking.
Right. Going beyond that right now.
What we may need is something to get just a little more tightness on it. But for now, I think we're on to exactly what we want.
Ooh.
What's you
Maybe
got?
two guiding screws, like here and here. So it will go
two
back
hooks instead of a single?
Well, two hooks or a single, or just two guiding, basically like two guiding pins, basically. So as it goes back and forth, it will rub against those. But then when you want to turn, it will keep this stationary, because that's what your big problem here is. See what I'm saying? Like, watch. So since you keep those the same.
Yeah, I kind of, well...
You see where I'm going for, right?
I see what you're going for. Two hooks may even just be easy. But you know what? Let's flip it back over. And...
yeah, because brainstorming never hurts anybody in building.
Yeah, I like where you're going. I think it may just be simpler to put a second hook. And so I will assume that's what you said the first time. And we're going to go with your first direction.
Yes. Well, we need...
All right, so...
Or a wider hook.
Yeah, when I looked at my options, there weren't a whole lot of wider options. But even then, that's still a single point, which originally I was going for to be able to have a little more motion. And I think that just like over-engineering the spinny bit, it's over-engineered this and gave it too much motion.
Okay, yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll continue on to the third leg. We'll get, we still want to get to the other part here. So we'll do this part for now. And then what we'll do later, probably off the air, is I'll just add second hooks in and we'll go that way.
Yes.
So more of these hooks. I had a drill around here.
So I had a thought, by the way,
Yeah.
because we were doing this before camera. We were trying to figure out with our wonderful producer Lance, like what the variant between this pipe and the second pipe needs to be.
Right.
And my thought was, what if we measured, we have a tape measure, or something that we can use as a universal basis zero, and say, well, that's a little too small.
Whoa now.
Well, or we could just do it here. Basically, we'll treat this as 0, and then when we go down, we measure how far it goes down.
Moves.
Yes.
Yeah, because we were talking about just how much space we need to give from one to the next to make sure they don't bump into each other. Speaking of Lance's mentions, he also had something to say about the hinges themselves. He was mentioning from watching that it may be, like, our hinge is big. And it may be having the upper one from underneath the lower one so that you still have a hinge through underneath and then a hinge here. The whole thing would be smaller and still able to do the same hinges and stuff. And I think that is a marvelous idea. And I also think that we already had these cut. So for future note, if you're building this on your own, probably good to go with Lance's idea and not what we did. So I'm going to pop in here and do about the same. Actually, I'll do just a little bit offset so we don't accidentally screw one into the other.
And I'm going to hold this end right here So you don't accidentally.
And this one is similar.
Oh.
Hello, leg. You'll get your chance. Jeez, centaur legs these days. All right, there's that. And then we also want to upsize it just a little bit with the wood screw. Is there one of those darker colored ones? So they were useful after all.
Just not the way we thought they were going to be.
That's right. It's a happy little accident. Those at home may not know that Bob Ross was part centaur himself.
No, Dryad.
Oh, he always wanted to be Dryad, but he was centaur. They had to airbrush out the legs on camera.
Happy little non-legs.
It was a happy little accident.
I was going to say, if you didn't think our younger viewers didn't know who Bob Ross is, he's on Twitch. Speaking of which, we're also on Twitch.
Hey, it's like a tie-in. Here,
Actually, I didn't
you
even
got
mean that.
one? No, you're fine. You get that one, I'll get this one. Don't. Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't lean. Here.
Sorry.
That's okay. We're about to lose a table.
I got it. You grab
I
it.
remember Robin. Ah, I bumped a camera.
This is
Everything's going higgledy-piggledy.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
See, and I was trying to avoid this.
For those at home, if you have a workbench, don't put it on stilts. There we go. All right, we should be good.
Yes.
Probably bumped that camera just a little too much. Don't lean on the table.
Yeah. I have a gut too, and this is very awkward.
You have learned what Robin learned.
Okay, done. It is up, which is down.
Right. All right. So is this one. Now, our PVC.
Oh, I put it over there, so I didn't want it to get busted up.
Yeah, you're fine. So we need one more squash end.
Yes.
Let me start heating that sucker up.
Did we?
Let me not heat that sucker up. We still gotta have this, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Check the. So, sometimes when things happen, we don't know why, but they do.
Well,
Check the plug, like change plug.
I'm gonna ditch the drill for a minute. Nope. We have a dead heat gun.
Is it just too warm?
No, it's just straight up dead.
Hey, smell that.
Well, yeah, it's gonna get warm. It's
No,
a
no,
heat gun.
I can smell a little burnt plastic.
No, it does that at any time, because it's a. All right.
It's burnt plastic.
So
I smell burnt plastic.
let's see what happens when we don't flatten this side. And you know what?
That actually could lead to.
I can't see, but go for it.
No, throw the.
Oh, the heat
heat
gun
gun.
to. All right. There you go. See what you can do with that. All right. We'll pop a hole in it anyway, and if we can't get it squashed, then all the better. But hey, we'll
This could lead to the solving of the motion leg problem.
that is a possibility.
Happy
we could
accidents.
be looking at a fix of something.
That we didn't know how to fix, and now we might. Happy accidents lead to happy times.
On the upside, the drill still works.
Really?
All right. Let me actually use the frame this time
Here, I'll
to
hold
steady it. All right. And this side, trying to get the same. I'm trying to make sure I get it.
Oh, whoa.
Hi, leg. Boy, these legs. I tell
Well,
you, they're
that one-
raring to go.
See, that one wanted to attack you, but it couldn't get to you, so it knocked its buddy over. It's like, no, I want my turn now. My turn in the spotlight.
All right, just the top hooks in.
Hey, that might
that's-
actually, like I said, might. Or it might not do anything. By the way, oh shit. Shoot. I mean, poops.
That's not what you meant.
I know.
All right.
And I'm just, by the way, this is going on its own. I'm just guiding it. So when he
Yep.
moves it, I'm just holding it to make sure.
Yeah, and I think that's working
Okay.
enough
Yes.
for what we have at the moment. I still think, we probably still need to flatten it in the end, but we have working legs.
Yes, I do.
No, these are working
Oh,
legs.
these legs.
All
Come on,
right.
you know one of us had to make that joke.
So here's the obviously if we flipped it over, it's gonna do what we want it to do,
Correct.
short of the back and forth without second hooks. That much is obvious without actually flipping it over. So the next thing that we want to do then is that we want to add some hooks to these cross legs and see just how much give we have to do.
So we want to take this off. So
We're
we're
going
not...
to use this same one over there.
Okay. I'm just, yeah. What I was asking is, do we want to remove this real fast? And the answer is yes.
Yeah.
So we don't have to fight two things.
That's right. All right. Cool beans.
So we know.
I'm excited. Something's working mostly.
Wish you were here, Jeffrey.
Maybe that's why it's... No.
No, we're not saying that. I really wish Jeffrey was here, though. We really do wish you better, buddy. Man, stop trying to get superpowers. So we know that this is basically going to be 0. Like, so we're treating this measurement as this is 0.
All right. So we want to... Yeah.
So we're gonna put it like right over here, right?
Ooh. That's...
That's perfect.
No, that's too long. But that's all right. We'll roll with it for now. So the front is a little bit shorter because the front two legs are a little bit pulled in.
All right. So let's say we'll do. This is 2 inches right here. So start going. Oh yeah. So hold on. No, you're too high. Go down.
We've got a
Okay,
a marker.
Well, yeah. But now I'm looking at this now. Go down. So we're gonna go down. Like you're gonna move forward.
Oh.
See?
Moving my PVC.
So if that's the max the leg goes, 2 inches is fine.
And Lance pointed this out too. That's the most that this leg goes. If the other leg is not moving.
So as an example, if this
In walking, the other leg will be slightly back. Not that I'm moving it back, but my forward motion has the other leg in
so
this
theoretically,
direction.
so where we have it right now,
Yeah.
if we kept everything
Is potentially good.
2 inches. So 2 inches off of the
Okay. So put that down. Grab that marker.
Alright.
Marker a spot around where the PVC is.
Alright, hold on.
Okay.
Halfway here.
Now, remembering that this was a little further back, so it should be,
Out here.
yeah, about there.
All right.
All right, so let's
Pin
pop
tastes
in
weird. You didn't buy blueberry.
I didn't. They were all out of blueberry.
Pink.
All right, got that one. Got this one. Let's do our Frankensteining here.
Can you tell I've done construction before with being an assistant to somebody? It's like, okay.
All right.
Is it Frankenstein or Frankenstein?
Don't know. Can't think while I'm screwing screws. All right. There's one. There's one. So in the end, if some of these pipes are visible when we've got a skin on this critter, honestly, it's easy enough to coat them in black, like some Plastidip or something like that, and that will help darken them, kind of like some of the Velociraptor suits that the legs are done in black and things like that, so that
or clear
hook
PVC.
that on.
Or clear PVC. Or do you not like clear PVC?
Well, I don't think clear PVC is structurally sound for something like this. I think it's a little too floppy.
Okay, I want to take a step forward with this one. Now, take a step forward with. Oh, can you hold?
As you take a step forward with this one, the first one goes back. All right. Hold on. We need to flip it again.
Yes.
This is going to be a test.
Of the emergency broadcast system. This is only a test.
We might go that direction. You never know. All right, flip it our direction.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Oh, there's some more things. All right. Legs down, legs down. Let me take this piece of PVC off. So it's not flat, we'll just put it on when it's there. All right. Foot up, legs down. Come on, legs.
Oh, let me. There it goes.
Yeah. Okay. So, are you studying it?
Yeah, I'm setting.
All right. So we got that hooked on almost. There we go. That hooked on over there. This is still a little on the tall side, but or the long side.
But we got it.
There we go.
We got it working.
All right.
So I'm gonna lift this up just slightly, just so it's kind of off the floor. There it goes. Yes. All right. I need to put this down now.
Okay.
No, it's not that. It's actually starting to get heavy.
Let's see how long Pocky can hold the centaur by himself.
No, hold on a second. So
It's on its own. Look at this.
boom.
It stands better than our table.
Wait, which one of you designed this?
A massage company designed this.
That explains so much.
All right. I told you we'd make progress, and we made progress.
Okay, I'm off the show now.
And actually, it is, I mean, other than the fact that it's still a little wobbly there, we talked before about parking brakes, basically a little eyelets here and down here, and a rod through to keep the front legs still. And if the front legs are keeping the back legs still, and so on,
legs.
then it should work across the board. So definitely second hooks so that we still have some. I like the rounded hook in the rounded hole, so we still got some play and it's not completely solid.
Right.
But we will need secondary hooks in order to get sideways motion going.
Yes.
We have a little bit of time. Let's try putting some more hooks in. All right, flipping it back over.
Flipping it back. All right.
Okay, so
we got this working.
this one that's a little too long, let's go ahead and pop it out of the way. Or just a little
Actually,
too long
should we
for the
measure it
front.
also so that way when you're
No.
after show we can cut it?
Nope. Because it's the perfect length for the back,
Okay.
which is what we really wanted.
right.
So slightly shorter. So basically, for the front, I'll just make another one this length and another one that length for the back, and that will work out just fine. But for right now, what we'll do, they'll be offset here, so we'll put another hole, and then add 2 more hooks and see how this one works out with that. Putting these second hooks in is going to be a little interesting though, because they're going to turn close to where this turns. I may have to put holes on either end and a total of 3 holes in this thing, because we don't want the middle hole. We want the outer holes.
So, and then that would allow stability.
It will allow stability. It will be stable in weird forms, but not... All right. Let's see. There's a drill bit I want.
Do we have a name for this centaur yet?
Frederick von Hoofenhofen.
Ah, von Hoofenhofen. The von Hoofenhofen family is a very fine family, sir.
It's, you know, from the Empire. All right. So, let's see. Where's a hook? What I want to do was I put these in is make sure I can spin the hook to put it in. So I want to put it just a little further.
Well, also, you don't have to have it move 360 degrees. It's going to move more like, well, like 30?
Right, but we still want it to move side to side.
Yeah, but I'm saying...
What I'm saying, though, about the hook, though, is I want to make sure that as we twist it in, there's enough space so it won't bump
I
this
see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine. And I'm putting it in, so this one needs to be to the outside.
Of course, when working on multi-projects like this, always ask, make sure if you're not sure what your partner is doing, make sure, because if everyone's on the same page, it makes things easier.
You haven't watched this show before, have you? Man, there are times we're not even in the same book. All right.
I know. Okay.
There's that one. There's a hook for that one.
And a hook for this one.
A hook for this one.
Okay, a little bit more. There it goes.
All right.
Done.
Now, for some added holes.
Holy cow.
Add one to this side. We'll go forward with the drill, not backward. Add one to this side.
Looking hammer?
Yeah. All right. That side. Add one to that side. And let's see how well this actually does something. Let's see. It helps if I move the latch out of the way. Oh, yeah. That's going to be hard.
This was almost a good idea.
I'm sure it still is.
We just had to figure out how to make it happen. So those who can't see, we can't rotate this part anymore to go at an angle. So this leg is going straight forward, and this theoretically actually would go to this leg right here if we kept going at that angle.
Check it out. So what if, so this hole needs to be moved back so that it's at an angle. Which also means that that hole,
this hole would need to go back here.
Yeah. More holes!
What a nut. Make a hole in it.
All right.
Well, actually, let's see how it goes
way.
first.
And then, what? Are you kidding?
You know, we have to also may have to flatten more of this.
Yeah, we might. All right. Now we got enough holes. It's like this is the Halloween episode where we make the Charlie Brown of PVC. Oh, it's not all the way through. There we go. Now it's all the way through. Whew, this is going to be hard to latch.
Hold on, I gotta move this.
Yeah.
Hold on, there's that.
We want this hole.
Oh, okay, sorry.
That's okay. As
So
I said,
many
it's
holes. I am not.
Oh, we lost some. Whoa, we lost some lights. Well, all right.
Did I think the? Okay, so hopefully we're still also on the air.
That's ridiculous.
No.
All right.
I cannot get this in actually.
Yeah.
Well,
All right. So
we have a plan.
yeah, we have the plan. All right. So let's recap. The plan here is that these need to be at an angle, which probably means we need to cut the PVC at an angle.
Correct. Or at least flatten it at an angle.
Or at least flatten it at an angle. Well, I mean, I'd probably flatten it more and cut it at an angle.
Correct.
But at that point, we should be getting side-to-side motion, I think.
With front to back motion.
With front-to-back motion. All right. So, we are so close. Oh, look, now we're haunted.
We're spookies.
Our producer is freaking out, but it's all right. So,
It's also toward the end of the episode. We're all good.
right. So, what we're going to do at this point is, obviously, everything is broken that we need to break.
And we
More or
broke it.
less. Right.
We broke things.
That's right. But we are on a plan. So 2 hooks in each spot instead of a single. PVC, more flat on the ends, cut at an angle, 2 holes at an angle so that so that they fit in at an angle.
Somebody need around the end. Like so.
I'm not as worried about it because it's going to be at a pretty static. So we're going to roll with that. We've got the right size, the length here. We've got the length cut for the back. We've got leg motion. We've got the frame able to stand up on the upper legs by itself. So what's going to happen between now and next episode is that I'm going to make the adjustments that we just talked about and get the extra hooks in and make it all work like we know right now from our testing. It absolutely will. And then, so what's going to happen next time is we're going to have the lower legs on attached. We're going to add those with hinges and add a bunch of little screw eyes up down it so that we can run eye bolts. Words. So we can run some wire down and make the lower legs bend with some additional springs in it and then more cabling to the rear. So we've got a couple of weeks off here. Next week is Brad's red web. Couple of weeks of...
No, I have. So this is week 3, right?
I don't know.
Week 4 is mine, actually.
There you go.
Mine's Learn to Roll.
Pocky.
You have me and Courtney and Jeff from ChupacabraCon talking about system versus setting in tabletop role-playing games. Because I talk about how to basically start people from the idea of playing role-playing games to actually playing them.
There you go. So we got that. We got blah, blah, blah. We got some more shows coming. The first Tuesday in December, we are back to do the lower legs. the third Tuesday in December. We are going to test this live. No idea if it'll actually work, but so far it's working. Yay! For right now, we're going to pause here. Jeff, get better. Joe, do your thing. Pocky, thanks for coming on and
High
hanging
five.
with us. Got some good ideas going. Thanks to Lance for his work back there behind the scenes, not only right now as he's trying to fix things, but in helping out and throwing out some ideas around these hinges and stuff. Great work all around, everybody. We're going to stop there and continue crafting.